Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey delivered his 2023 budget address today. Here's what he had to say about the city's financial plans for the future.
A brief glance at your budget books reveals a substantial change this year. For the first time, you'll see we're accounting for not only 2023, but also 2024. For 2 whole years, we've been reacting on the defensive, responding to a litany of crises by amending budgets and re-amending them again as projections change. As our city comes back, and by the way, it is coming back, let's press that advantage and do more than simply get back to the old normal. We can blow by that old normal and do things differently than we ever have before. This here is one example. This 2-year budget provides several benefits. First, it gives our administration and our finance team the time and ability to go deeper. Our budget director, Amelia Kruver, will tell you it's a year-round passion. In a yearly budget, just weeks after a budget is passed in December by the City Council, the next budget is already underway. This never-ending cycle puts all the focus on change items, but gives little impetus or time to fully evaluate the base budget in full and account for data-driven results. Now, the second benefit of a biennial budget provides improved trust between mayor and council. If I tell you that a program will be partially funded in the first year, 2023, and fully funded in the second year, in this case 2024, you'll see that commitment right there on the paper. We will be working from the same document, and we will then have a shared understanding. Third, a biennial budget gives both the mayor and council the ability to see whether a new program is working before re-upping or increasing funding for the following year. It provides more of a runway to implement, to evaluate, and to report out before final decisions are made. And finally, over time, a more complete review will garner a more complete fiscal picture of where we are as a city, which in turn can provide more efficiencies and hopefully reduce the property tax burden. The increase for 2023 will be 6.5%, and we predict 2024 will be somewhere in the range of 6.2%. These increases are largely driven by a combination of inflation, growth capture, and measures to bring full-time staffing back to pre-pandemic levels. Now, inevitably, we can't predict the future. Seemingly wise budget allocations now and today will need to be amended later. So next year, I will present an amended budget with new figures, and you, the City Council, will once again amend that budget and approve it. Recognizing that we won't get back to full staffing overnight, we must do things differently in the Office of Community Safety, specifically in the area of technology. Through strategic investments, we will be able to utilize both our patrol and investigative resources more efficiently, hold perpetrators of violent crime accountable at the same time. That's why we gave $1 million in ARPA funds to MPD to expand both portable cameras and lighting technology. We're doubling down on the technology advancements in this budget. Technology isn't a magic wand fix, but it certainly is the way of the future. Combine that with mutual aid funding and increased overtime, we can help bridge the gap that we now see. And we need to be thinking about the future of our safety services at the same time. The Office of Community Safety goes well beyond policing. We're integrating all safety services, including violence prevention and mental health response. This was a key recommendation from my community safety work group. We need to invest in prevention work. Minnesota and Minneapolis is known for consistently high voter turnout, like we're talking the highest in the nation. Minneapolis is equally known for its exceptional voter service. So we're investing $6.8 million for elections in 2023 and 2024 to ensure all eligible voters have the opportunity to have their voices heard. We're investing $571,000 over the next 2 years in green cost share, which helps businesses reduce environmental pollution through solar energy and weatherization projects. With an investment of $700,000 over 2 years, we're expanding electric vehicle stations across the city and positioning ourselves to be competitive for additional federal investments. You won't find a change item this year for stable homes, stable schools. Why? It's already an ongoing budget item. And by the way, this program is getting results. Since it began in 2019, we've housed over 3,300 kids and their families and counting, all in partnership with the Minneapolis Public Housing Authority, Minneapolis Public Schools, Hennepin County, and the YMCA of the North. Those kids are staying now in the same schools. They aren't going from one school to another. Why? Because they have a home that is also stable. They're growing up with stability, and they will be extraordinary adult residents of our city. We're investing an additional $1.5 million in NOAA preservation in 2023 and $2 million in Minneapolis homes in 2024. What do two very successful housing programs have to do with economic inclusion? The work group absolutely connected the dots between having an affordable place to live, especially one where you can build generational wealth through home ownership, as a critical piece of economic inclusion. Their recommendations included sustaining and expanding investments in these initiatives. We have allocated $1 million to the Black Women's Wealth Alliance Zara project, which will provide technical assistance centers on West Broadway. This is a direct investment in our efforts to recreate the Black middle class. Additionally, we are investing $500,000 one-time funding in Dreamland, a multi-tenant, multi-level small business and event center. This will support the $7 million project led by the Cultural Wellness Center and will help further the 38th Street Thrive plan.